Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Do you think we just have better intros when other people aren't around?
Because we're not just, posturing for someone else.
Yeah.
It's just us being like, all right, crack open a cold one. Sit back, relax.
Open a popsicle, crack open our knuckles.
Crack them open.
Crack open our knuckles like they're glow sticks and just let it all hang out.
Allie, stop. Halloween was... it's past. It's done. We can't...
What, do your knuckles not... Wait, hold on.
My bones are blacklight activated. It's horrible. It's horrible. Well, we can put the calendar back to 0 days. Judge about Allie's body. Oh, it's a fun little gag we have here.
At this point, now that you've made it a thing, I just have to bring up constant body nonsense.
Right, sure. And lucky for us, you are just full of them.
Welcome to Into the Twilight, where it is constant body horror and queer realness.
Okay.
I don't know where that part came from, but I mean, that's, I guess, true.
Yeah,
so.
Yes. Are you still on island time right now? Can you give me an update?
I am. Yes. Yeah. So, hi. It's like 30 degrees out. And I am literally under 4 blankets right now, 2 of which are legitimate comforters.
Oh my god.
Because I am a cold-blooded human with circulation problems, but I am eating a popsicle right now.
That Allie started 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, that I started literally 20 minutes ago because I'm a multifaceted human being. So, it's great. Going great.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking
and
Tommy
it tastes very
Bahama
good.
over here.
Summer,
baby. We're going to Kokomo, baby. Are you kidding me? Come on.
I'm wearing a sun hat and I'm on island time.
Yep.
Can you imagine if I was wearing a sun hat, had sunglasses on, just living my dreams over here?
The worst part is I absolutely fully could.
Reporting live from island time.
Yeah, every time we record, I just imagine you do the Guy Fieri thing where he has the sunglasses on the back of his head.
That's pretty accurate, actually.
Great. I'm glad I nailed that.
Cody, how the fuck are you doing?
I'm doing alright, man. Things have chilled out a little bit.
That's good to hear.
In the last few weeks. Chicago's sort of back to normal.
Whoa.
Which is great. For me, personally.
Well, don't say that too loud.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I hope no one's recording this.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
They can't hear me. But yeah, it's been great. I've been catching up on BoJack Horseman, really getting to my seasonal depression. You know how it is.
Yeah, just the most cheerful of shows.
You know how it is, baby. The sun sets at 4 and I get sad.
Nighttime starts at 2 p.m.
Yeah, I'm depressed. Love going home from work and it's midnight.
Honestly.
It's a terrible, terrible place we live in. I hate it.
True. Oh my god. Speaking of which, speaking of depression, welcome to Into the Twilight.
That segue could be applied to every episode, every conversation we've ever had on this podcast.
Honestly, I introduced my kids to mood trackers today because today is Stress Awareness Day, aka every day of my life.
Right.
And so I introduced them to mood trackers, and so we were filling out our little color key, and I was showing my kids on the dock camera my example, and one of my kids, the smartass, was like, "Hey, Miss Johnson, on yours I noticed that it doesn't say happy anywhere." And he looked at me and he's like, is there... And I was like, Jeremy, don't talk so loud. I was like, Jeremy, it's called depression. Please don't.
I can't
Please
do this
shut
with you right now.
Please shut the fuck up. And one of the kids next to him who also can relate was just like, there's a Vine of it where the girl like tries to laugh, but she like wheezes. She's like, I don't know, she like, like does that as a laugh. And I was like, same.
Yeah.
So I just felt personally attacked by one of my kids today. I'm going to start a YouTube channel about it.
That's, great.
Yes, thank you. And then we did a circle today where we were talking, and one of my kids attacked me and called me a boomer, and I'm never going to school again. And I had to, like, I was like, first of all, we don't attack each other here. Second of all, I'm on the cusp of being a Gen Z, so please don't ever call me that again.
I am almost you.
I am almost your age. I'm aggressively a millennial. Please don't ever call me that again.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I was like, first of all, it's a great joke. I get it,
Right.
but don't ever call me that again.
Yeah. That's not for me, okay?
That's not funny.
I use that joke to other people.
I retweeted that joke yesterday, okay? It's not funny.
Whoa, what if this is how
What?
you turn the tables? You just start calling your kids boomers.
Oh my god.
I don't think they'll know how to react. They'll just be like, what do you mean? Oh no.
The problem is, and here's the fucked up thing, Cody, they're just saying it to each other as like a put down.
Yeah.
Some of my kids today literally didn't even know that it was referencing baby boomers.
Well, oh boy.
And I was like, they were like, what's a boomer? And I was like, Jesus Christ, Ryan, it's a baby boom. I was like, if you're gonna use the joke,
Right.
know what the dunk means.
Yeah. If you take anything
Ryan.
away from my class.
If you take anything away from this social studies class, Ryan, know what a baby boomer is.
Welcome to Allie's Comedy Central Roast. Today, we're gonna learn how to effectively use boomer.
It's just me, like, voguing while teaching, like, what a baby boomer is. Now, Ryan, go forth, dunk on the olds with your knowledge of what a baby boomer is.
Yeah, you've passed with flying colors.
They have created this climate change. Ryan, now use this effectively. Go. God.
That's great.
It's like, don't you ever.
Yeah, how dare you?
I'm also living in this world that they create. Like, don't.
Yeah, come on.
It's like, I am 10 years older than you. Don't even. Anyways. It's like, you weren't even alive. You weren't even alive when Twilight was created.
Was
born.
born.
You weren't even alive when
From
Twilight was
Stephanie
born.
Meyer's gentle bosom.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, we have some important current events to get to today.
Fuck yeah, we do.
There's so much to get to today. Important Island Time update. It's been 33 minutes. I just finished my popsicle.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Round of applause.
We have a very important corner today. Do you have your music? Thank you, first of all. Thank you.
I do
This
accept
time-
tips.
It's been you just busking on the street.
Yeah, with my fucking tiny robot. You kidding me?
Wait, hold on. Can you play Make Me a Robot on that? And just like get Tessa's attention?
Just IP. Yeah. Listen, there's not a lot of like tabs for the stylophone as there are for, I don't know, guitars or like piano even. There's like 10 songs that people know how to play on this, and the rest are just kind of figure it out, and I'm illiterate, so I just kind of do that. So here we go.
Sure.
That sounded like a short circuit. That's dangerous. There we go. Beautiful.
Does it have a name?
No.
Oh.
I mean, would you like to name it?
Well, I didn't birth it, so I don't.
I didn't either. I think
Yeah, but
David
you,
Bowie
like-
did that.
Well, yeah, but I don't home it, so you can name it.
I don't name my things, but if you want it to have a name, you can name it.
Okay. Well, all I see right now is Timothée Chalamet's wig on my screen, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
I'll come back. I'll come back to it.
I'll simmer.
I'll come back to it when I have something funny to say.
Yeah.
The first thing that we have today is a very important corner. Could you start us off today on things that make me emo?
Yes.
That should be the name of this corner, but it's not. So,
Welcome to the marriage corner, also known as the things that make Allie emo corner.
true.
We got a 2-folded marriage week this week, which was very jarring and delightful. Let's start with the most emo one, which is from Elle. And basically, K-Stu said that she would have married Robert Pattinson during that time when they were dating, saying that was my first love.
I'm crying in the club right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is all from this I want to listen to this whole Howard Stern interview because it seems great.
I'll just read the transcript.
No, okay, fine. But she dishes on all of these things. And most importantly, and the thing that was very much circulating on the Twitter sphere, was that she's just like, yeah, I'm in love with my girlfriend and I'm so stoked to propose to her, and I just, like, I have such a cool idea and I want to just, like, do it, and I'm in love with her, and I've been in love with her since we, like, first met, and I was just, like, watching it like, oh my god.
It's so pure.
It's
Can you imagine? Okay, first of all, it doesn't surprise me, right? Because, like, fire sign energy,
listen.
right? So, like, it doesn't surprise me to, like, know that there's that much passion happening there, right?
Yeah.
So, I get it. But also, it's just baffling to me to imagine that much, like, passion coming from K-Stu all at once, like, that much, like, Aries energy.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh god. Like,
Yeah.
just an Aries all of a sudden being like, first time meeting being like, I love you, I want to marry you, and it's just like, okay, what?
Oh, God. Yeah.
So,
she's very, like, open in this whole thing. It's great and very delightful. And she's so cute.
Yeah,
And
this
in love.
this is all, like, press junket stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, she's on the, like, tour and stuff.
Yeah.
Ah,
She's
okay.
on that prime Charlie's Angels tour, my dude.
Because I got an ad recently from Pinterest
Uh-huh.
from them, for, like, the Charlie's Angels stuff,
Yeah.
where it was, like, Elizabeth Banks talking about how they, quote unquote, like, searched Pinterest for all the places that they wanted to look at, while they were doing, like, spy movie stuff, and I was like, yeah, Elizabeth Banks, sure you did.
Listen, when you're making a spy movie about ladies, where's the first place you're gonna turn to get your locations? Pinterest, baby, come on.
I mean, obviously it's gonna be Pinterest.
Feminism.
Where else would you go for the looks?
Come on.
Where else would you go?
I gotta put all my mood boards together.
Yeah,
I gotta
of course
put my
you do.
high heels with my guns and weaponry. It's a motif,
It's just-
baby.
Ugh, God. Can you imagine the pitch that Elizabeth Banks did with just, like, physical mood boards rather than just, like, a digital Prezi or whatever the fuck? Just like, okay,
right.
goodbye.
No, thanks.
Kill me instead. Apparently, when I meant we have a lot of news, I meant that we have a lot of K-Stu news this week, which that's what I meant, basically.
Fuck
so.
Robert, he's had like 3 full weeks of press weeks.
Well, we do have some Batman news, but we have a lot of K-Stu news.
Yeah.
So, next thing is we have to talk about K-Stu on SNL.
We do.
So, when we spoke last, I was very confident, one, that there was going to be a Totino's 2.
Yeah.
And second, I was very confident that there was going to be a K-Stu Dakota Johnson picture that would come out.
Right.
I was wrong on both.
So...
But here's the thing. We don't know that they didn't film a Totino's 2 and it just didn't make it to the final. And we don't know that
it was
there
too
isn't...
hot for print.
It was too sexy.
Yeah.
And we don't know that there isn't a Dakota Johnson K-Stu photo that they just didn't post.
It's true. Fucking Kristen gave Chris Martin a big ol' hug at the end of that.
So
big ol' hug.
Maybe he just leaned in and was like, I fucked your girlfriend. So
Damn.
What a power move.
Yeah.
You just watched SNL before we started recording, yes?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Hot off
so
the
you
presses.
have hot off the press thoughts.
Yeah.
Can you tell me your hot thoughts?
I think, listen, this is the first time I've watched an episode of SNL in maybe a year? And before that, it was probably several years. So I'm not very well versed in the SNL situation as of late. But I think it was very fun. I liked it. The sketches, for the most part, made me laugh. K-Stu's hot and can play, and it was just like uncomfortable, but in like a way that she was having fun. So you're just like, oh, it's okay. She's gonna be okay.
It was an interesting one. I've watched the past couple episodes of this season, and they've been quite good.
Yeah.
They've also had comedy people on the past couple ones. And so I think that that's aided to the strength of the past couple episodes. Because people have been kind of like down to clown. Whereas for this one, it's very clear that K-Stu's gotten more comfortable since last time.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, it's clear that like she's not like writing her own stuff.
Right.
To me and Chris, when we were watching it, it came off as like, these are the things that they saved for like anyone.
Right.
And they were like, oh, cool, K-Stu's on this week. We'll use these ones.
Yeah, a lot of them felt not specific to her and her persona at all. Like, they just kept putting her in, like, very straight, like, docile, like the paint one, which was funny, but it was just, like, a weird role for her to just be in this weird, like, brown wig and this dress. Like, it just felt very strange.
Yeah, they were pretty wild.
Yeah, they felt very, like, blanket sketches that could have been anyone, like you said. But I think the Office one was very funny. The, like, pop punk capitalism.
The Haley Williams.
Yeah, Haley Williams inspired wig. That was very good.
I liked the Duolingo one.
The Duolingo for kids is very good.
I liked the Hungry Jury one. Mainly like the end. Well, mainly like the end of it was good.
Right. If you don't know how to end a sketch and you're just like, well, let's just do Genuine out of burps. That's comedy. That's great. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was very good. Anytime Bowen Yang was on screen, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I felt this way about the whole season.
Yeah.
But there's been an extreme lack of Bowen Yang.
Yeah. Yeah, the one he was in the most was the one that was cut for web, and I was like, God damn it.
Right. The Proposition one was interesting.
I did not enjoy it.
I agree.
It felt just like a bunch of straight dudes who don't know anything about anything. We're just writing like, well, how do people initiate threesomes?
Yes.
And also forego all of that and just have someone be kind of standing there awkwardly while like a couple is there eating food from another restaurant inside of a club. It was just like there were so many things going on and none of them were quite funny, but Bowen Yang in leather gear at the end of it was very good. So...
Yes. I also found it interesting in that sketch that they, one, said pansexual in a sketch, and I was like, oh, dope, cool.
Right.
But they didn't say, like, make it explicit that K-Stu's character was, like, I don't know, interested. Well, they made it explicit that her character was, like, interested in, like, hooking up for a threesome.
Right.
But, like, I don't know. That whole situation, it was not clear, like, what people's boundaries were. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It
I
was
very
just,
confused.
like, very uncomfortable.
Yes.
And made it feel like it was just, like, a weird thing to do in general. And, like,
Yes.
the mood was weird. It was all weird.
Yep, I agree.
But that was a great case to fit. Probably the best one of the episode.
Yeah,
It was good.
I agree. The Roasted to the Riveter one was also interesting.
That was great. Yeah.
So, overall, it was, again, they felt very, like, Case 2 will be fine in these, but whatever. The monologue, I'd say, was probably, I don't know, it's hard to top the one that she had, was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny that this one she was like, no, how are you, like, really doing?
Right. Yeah, that was great. It's like, no, are you okay? Are you... Listen, the
Mainly
guy
'cause I
who
relate.
said, what do you want from me, Kristen Stewart, is the biggest mood in the whole world. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I personally relate to that guy who was like, what the hell do you want from me? Because that's,
Yeah.
I've never related to anything more.
Yeah. But other than
Okay.
that, it was great. I skipped Coldplay and I skipped Weekend Updates, but I'm sure they were great. Maybe.
So I watched Coldplay because I like Coldplay or whatever. The first one was terrifying. It gave off culty vibes.
I love that.
Because Coldplay did something cool where they did kind of like the monologue thing where Chris Martin like went from behind the stage and then moved all the way to the stage. Or like he moved from behind the studio and like came to the stage, which was cool, except for there were a whole bunch of dancers in the front seats and they started doing weird gyration things.
Great.
Kind of like youth pastor dance vibes. It was kind of creepy. And then the second one, it was creepy.
Yeah.
And then the second one was fine. It was like very old school Coldplay where they were just on the stage, Chris Martin on a piano singing soft, sad Starbucks vibes.
Yeah. Great.
Which is, again, fine. Okay. Last couple things are Batman news.
Pew, 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 pew.
Batman news are we have 2 more pretty boys.
Just some gorgeous lads.
I'm physically stressed about this movie.
I mean, it's coming for our fucking necks. We are...
If this all ends up being like 100% confirmed, I am going to need to take a Valium before this movie. Like, I don't know what I need, but I'm going to need something.
Yeah.
So, as of yesterday, November 5th, Colin Farrell is in talks to play the Penguin. I will literally never forget his accent in Widows. Was it?
Oh, God. Fuck. Jesus. He's gonna do it, too. He has to.
I know he has.
No. Ah!
I loved and I hated it so
it's
much.
Awful.
But I'll need him to do it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So that's the thing.
Yeah. The Penguin
it's a
historically from Chicago.
Yep. I will say a much hotter Penguin than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't hate it at all
No,
because
that's not a
Colin
complaint.
Farrell, he's
Yeah.
like fine wine. That man.
Come on. The Lobster? You kidding me? Come on.
Stop it. And then
You stop
Andy. No. And then Andy Serkis is supposedly in talks to play Alfred.
Okay.
Alfred Pennywise?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay, great.
Alfred ate the clown.
And again, a much hotter take on Alfred.
Sorry.
What? When I think about, like, Alfred of yore... No, stop. No. You're judging me. You're judging me already.
No, I respect your taste. Andy Serkis, though.
All I'm saying is that, like, when I think about Alfreds of yore, they're always, like, bald, and they always have that, like, whiny voice.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that when I think about, like, Alfreds in the past couple Batman movies, they're starting to get, like, progressively hotter.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
I'm not saying he's like Nosferatu.
Stop.
I'm just saying he can get it.
Okay.
A little.
Just a little.
He's got that, like, Michael Sheen to him, you know?
He's got that sheen. You know what I mean?
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm just saying in, like, a couple versions, there's something...
We're just gonna get a fucking ripped, hot Alfred beyond all
In
means.
a couple versions, it could be Colin Farrell playing Alfred, you know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah.
Who's to say? I'm just saying.
No, this is great. It's great.
You laugh and you judge, but you don't know.
I am willing to be wrong, and I'm willing to forgive. Okay.
All I'm saying. Okay. Side note. I started watching Catfish for the first time.
Oh, that's so important to me.
And Max.
Yeah.
Could get it.
Oh yeah.
That silver fox of a man.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you're just 5 years behind culture at any given time. Because we were having this discourse in like 2014, and people thought we were crazy.
Oh.
But now it's cool. But yeah, he's hot. He's hot as hell.
He is.
Yeah. Fuck, can that be our Patreon episode? Just talk about Catfish?
I would love to talk about Catfish with you.
Thank you.
Oh. God damn.
Yeah, it's a great
Also,
show.
I went this whole time thinking his name was Nev.
Yeah.
And he said his name was Neve, and I was like, I respect you, but I think you pronounce your name wrong.
Yeah, I think this is your fault.
I think you say your name wrong.
I think you did a whoopsie.
Anyways, I would love to talk about that on a bonus Jonas with you.
Hell yeah, dude.
We have a listener question.
Hell yeah, we do.
If you could change one, I know only one thing about the series, what would it be? Their condition here is it can be a major plot point or a minor detail. And I think I know what you're going to say, but I want to hear you say it anyway.
Kill Joe. That seems like a cop-out.
I was going to say more Blythe, but...
Oh, duh, of course. Yes, more Blythe. For sure, more Blythe. Absolutely.
You're so short-sighted.
I know. I'm just...
You coward.
Yeah, I need to really
you
galaxy
fool.
brain this whole situation. Because, like, listen, the problem here if we get rid of Joe is that the book would be also very boring without him.
True.
It's still boring, but there's no one else interesting after him to fill in that gap. But my girl Blythe, if she just overpowers the situation and she just is that main bitch, I'm here. I'm into it. Yes.
And I think that Blythe would figure it out, too.
Sure.
If she was in the situation more.
Sure.
So, I think butterfly effect.
Right.
Galaxy brain.
Yeah.
If there's more Blythe in a, not as like a tertiary character. Hey, that's a weird word.
Uh-huh.
Hey, just think about that for a second.
Chew on that one, huh?
But even as like bring her a little bit closer into the circle, she would start to figure shit out more. Yeah. So that's what I think. That's what I think.
That's what I think.
That's what I think.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. I'll just let you all peek into the curtain really quick. I was super excited. I woke up this morning, sleep deprived, but alert. And I was like, today's the day, folks. Oh my, I just scared the shit out of my cat. I was like, today's the day. We are done. This book is over. It's been months, but we're finally done. And I was like, all right, just going to push through. And then I got through my 2 chapters on Audible. And I was like, wait a second. I've got like 4 more chapters. What the fuck? And I was like, it'll be fine. And then I was like, wait, we've literally never just pushed through like 6 chapters before.
Yeah.
And then I realized we are not finishing the book today. We are finishing the book next week.
Wow.
And so I'm bad at math. I don't teach math, so hop off my asshole for 2 seconds. Okay? So we're reading chapters 49 and 50, and we're finishing the book next week, okay?
Hell yeah.
For real this time, though.
For real. No
For
jokes
real this
about
time.
it.
No jokes. Jokes can leave next week. We're just finishing the book. And plot twist, she dies, okay? Unless, like, things get really weird. Like,
it's just a very tame civil ending. Nothing
Yeah,
bad
that would be-
happens.
that would be really weird if they just added that to the TV show for no reason. Okay. 2 weeks ago, Beck was still in the cage, and Joe threw a copy of the Da Vinci Code at her and was like, read, bitch. And I think that's where it ended. Otherwise, this chapter would start off really weird. So, so chapter 49 starts, and they're reading Dan Brown together. You know, like couples do. They just read books together. Super cute. Super normal. Except for it changes the dynamic a little bit when one of your partners is in a cage and you put them there and they didn't consent to it. So yikes. There's a lot of references to the Da Vinci Code here that really go right over my head.
Yeah, me too.
Because I saw the Da Vinci Code, but probably like 12 years ago.
Right.
At least. And I find it very interesting that Beck compares Dan Brown's book here to Stephen King.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But she's like, oh, but they're very different because The Shining's like fucking literature, which is, I was not expecting this. Chris and I rewatched The Shining last night to prepare for seeing Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
And so I was like very shocked to see that there. Also,
wow. Art imitates life.
Yes. Also, yes. There's lots of stuff happening there.
They're just like hanging
I
out
hate
like
this.
old times, except, you know, your girl's in a cage.
Just, yep.
And nothing about it is wrong or bad. They're just chatting, they're reading, they're hanging out, they're getting coffee. It's great. But, you know, all their conversations are going through a little fucking doggy door inside of a cage in the basement of a bookstore.
Yep. No windows. Just recycled air.
Not a cell phone in sight. Just vibing. People living in the moment, baby. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Yep. This is all you want.
No, we don't have a Wi-Fi password. You're here to just talk to each other, man. Like, it's 1994. Just be friendly. Just talk to a person. Through a doggy door in the basement of a bookstore.
Yep.
Where no one can find you, and you're trapped.
Yep. Isn't this what you always want to say? You want to connect. You want to live in the moment. You want to pee in a Home Depot bucket. Like, this is what you're living for.
That's the dream, baby. You kidding
You
me?
want you want your kidnapper to pour a Starbucks cup into a small bowl for you to drink out of.
That's the funniest part of that whole interaction. There's a moment where he's like, I'm so stoked I'm gonna get my girl this like caramel coffee because she deserves it and she's the fucking one and that's my babe. And so he goes to Starbucks and gets it, and he comes back and she's like, hey, so the cup is too tall to get through the door. And he's like, don't you fucking worry. And just takes out a mug and pours it in. It's like, why didn't you just get a smaller cup? Why did you get the tallest cup that was available at the Starbucks?
And I know that he says, like, a low, wide mug, right. But I know what he really means is, like, a dog bowl. Like,
absolutely.
Joe, for just sure. Be honest.
Just slurp it out there. Come on.
Right. Like, let's just be real. And I know that what Beck is doing right now, similar to what she did in the show, right, is just, like, placating him, like, doing her best to just survive in the moment.
Yeah.
So she can, like, find her way to just get the fuck out of there. But this is, like, through Joe's perspective, right? So it just is him being like, I'm so glad that you have, like, accepted your role in the fucking cage and shit. And it just reads so gross.
Isn't this fun and good? Aren't we having fun?
Isn't this just great? And there's no mention through all of this. Like, it's fucking assumed, but who's to know, because it's Joe, where he lives on and sleeps on typewriters. Like, there's no way to know that he's, like, emptied her Home Depot bucket or anything. Like, we don't know that. Who's to say? And so there's one part too where Beck is like, so just checking that last Benji tweet when you said in Nantucket. I remember reading that tweet and thinking he must be seriously fucked up because he knows that it's on Nantucket, not in Nantucket.
Obviously.
Come
on.
And there's a lot of things, like, Joe's so in the moment, and he's like, again, vibing. He plays We Are the World.
Vibe check.
And he's just living his goddamn truth.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And Beck is going through the moments here, reminding Joe about... God, I can't even remember his name right now. Nikki, and how it was like a fling, which is exactly what Joe wanted to hear at this moment. Beck finally goes to sleep. He goes upstairs and stretches. Ethan texts him about the cover story that he, as Beck, texted Blythe, the, like, New Yorker thing, which is great. And then he has this great idea about Great Expectations. And, like, finally telling her about the, like, Bridgeport Dickens Festival thing.
Yeah.
So he takes that down. She, like, leafs through it. Stuff like that. And they're, like, still reading through the Da Vinci Code, I guess. Oh, Beck cries at the end of the Da Vinci Code, which I don't remember that being particularly emotional.
Right, an emotionally moving book.
And then we get to Joe saying the grossest thing about books, which is when he is like, this is like the end of the corrections, and he says, and the problem with books is that they end. They seduce you. They spread their legs to you and pull you inside. And you go deep and leave your possessions and your ties to the world at the door. And you like it inside. And you don't want for your possessions or your ties. And then the book evaporates. And 561 people highlighted that part.
Yeah. Do
Yep.
you think people that were highlighting that too were like, oh, it's like this book. This book is doing this to me.
This is the part where this book opened its legs to me.
Oh. Oh.
And they were talking about, like, fucking that tree book. What is it? It's like that children's book with the tree that always... Yeah. That's the one. That's the one that really does it for me.
For sure. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Or like fucking Harold and the Purple Crayon. That's the one that always makes me emo. Or it's some, like, I don't know, bullshit, like, yeah, Holden Caulfield story. That's the one that really does it for me.
Hell yeah.
That would be the one for Joe, because that fucking Holden Caulfield hat.
Yeah.
Or like The Road.
Yeah. Oh, he for sure loves The Road. For sure.
Did you have to read The Road in high school?
I never read it. You
never read it?
Never.
I had to read it in AP Lit in high school.
Wow,
and I distinctly...
Okay.
And I remember everyone in my... Wow. Sorry, that was the ghost in my apartment. The ghost in my apartment fucking hates The Road.
Fucking hate Cormac McCarthy. Eat shit.
I remember a lot of people hating it. I didn't mind it. I feel like if I went back now, I'd be like, fuck that book.
Sure.
But I feel like the teacher I had liked it, and so by proxy, I was like, oh yeah, of course, it's great.
Yeah.
Okay, where was I? Oh, at this point, Beck makes the mistake of asking how long they've been there, and it's been almost 4 days. So she's like, hey, we should celebrate, and she wants ice cream. And so that is where this chapter ends, is Jo being Twitter-pated because she's survived this long. I don't know why. And so he goes to get her ice cream. And this is when the grossest chapter happens, which is saying something.
Like, what? How do we keep finding media where people have sex with each other where ice cream plays a primary factor?
I honestly don't know.
It's so fucked up.
It makes me think that Stephenie Meyer had a vanilla ice cream sex scene that she just has in her brain, or she cut out because her editor was like, actually, we can't have this.
Legally, we can't put this in a young adult novel.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So, here's the thing. This is the most inappropriate thing I've ever read. And we read the 50 Shades series.
Yeah. How is this worse?
This is worse.
This is not marketed as a sex book.
Nope.
And yet, this is the most vile chapter of literature I've ever laid my eyes upon.
It's so raunchy.
So
and
raunchy.
Yet so, like, I mean, pardon... It's so vanilla at the same time. Like, it's it's so bland at the same... Like,
it's not raunchy or gross because of, like, any of the sexual nature of it. Like, it's very boring. But, like, the fact that it's packaged within this very, just, like, weird Stockholm Syndrome imprisonment thing, and also ice cream is involved. There's, like, so many fucking layers in here.
And it's Jo's package.
It's Jo?
Yeah.
It's just, like, all bad. It's a bad combination of bad things.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
It's awful.
I hate it.
No, I didn't eat it. I just hate it.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yep.
Because that's a ticket to a yeast infection if I've ever seen one.
And, yeah, I'm not taking any Azo products from this. I'll tell you that right the fuck now.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah. And that's where I tell you that this podcast is sponsored by... and, can you fucking imagine?
That would be like our first big brand get. Just like,
I would gladly be sponsored by Azo.
Are you
the amount of money? Oh, I would gladly. Okay. Anyways, this chapter is awful.
Yeah.
So he goes to the fucking deli, gets some... What kind of brand of ice cream do you think he'd get? Because he's not the Ben & Jerry's kind of boy. That's too expensive.
Oh, he's a Breyers boy, you know?
Oh, yeah. You know they call it... You grew up in California, so you know they call it Dryers here, right?
Whoa, what?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Same company, but it's called Dryers here.
But so they did a little... Their whole brand over there is called Dryers.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up. What?
I know.
Why?
It's like a Carl's and Hardy Boys or whatever.
Okay, that's one thing. But just keeping the same name and then calling it just a letter different?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
It's like a fucking Mandela effect or whatever the fuck.
Absolutely. Oh my god, I would be so freaked out like my whole life. I thought it was Dryers. It's Breyers.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
At least name it.
know.
Just at least do a different name if you're gonna do a different name.
I know.
Dryers. Are you kidding me? Come on.
I know.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
I know. They'd be like, oh yeah, no, here we call it Maagen-Dazs. Like what?
Right, exactly. It's Jen and Berries. Okay.
We haven't heard of Haagen-Dazs in 20 years.
Like, oh, I thought that shit was over. It's what? What is the purpose? What fucking are they scheming? What's the benefits?
It's just tax evasion. It's just a dairy scam. It's just big dairy. Oh my god.
We just like unearthed. Wow.
Oh my god.
It all
Big
makes
Dairy
sense.
is back at it.
God, fuck.
Oh my god.
It always goes back to Big Dairy.
New documentary coming out to Netflix next year.
You heard it,
Big
Eating
Dairy.
Animals. It's all about Big Dairy.
Oh god. What have they been feeding kids in those Go-Gurt tubes?
Oh,
Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh. Holy shit.
This is when we go full conspiracy thing.
It all makes sense now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Wow. Anyway, so he gets Breyers, whatever your name is. Okay, and when he gets back from the deli, Beck is just like butt-ass naked.
I love
And
that.
she's probably trying to like clean herself with
Right.
his like thread-ass, I don't know, probably just like napkins. I'm just imagining like he gave her like napkins and like a spray bottle, and she's trying to take like, I don't know, a shower, and he's like, oh, sexy time. Anyways, they try to do the sex now.
Yeah.
And this is like the whole chapter, and I'm not gonna read this out loud because it might be taken out of, well, this whole podcast could be taken out of context at this point, but the main parts of note, I guess, are that the drawer that was used for the coffee.
That's really the main
The
instigator
drawer-
of the whole thing here.
Yeah, the drawer, like, there's a lot of drawer becomes a window, and, like, body parts become the Da Vinci Code,
Yeah.
and
It's all metaphorical, you know.
Dan
Real
Brown probably didn't
smart
consent to
shit.
this.
Yeah, right. Just to get fucking fucked.
Yeah. Do you think that this author had to, like, tell Dan Brown, like, hey, I'm gonna make a sex scene based on your book? Is that, like, allowed?
Can I deflower your great book?
Oh my
in
god.
book? Is that cool?
Can I have sex with your book? Sort of, question mark.
Hey, you better like fuck your book. It's in a book, so it's like it's not me.
Can my book fuck your book? Sort of, question mark.
What if our book did a gentle kiss? Is that okay?
What if my book did something to your book? Question mark. Maybe, but unless.
Oh my god, I said E.L. James. Whoever wrote this fucking book, I don't even want remember.
Isn't it like Caroline Kepner's or whatever?
Yes. Okay, so Caroline Kepner just has like a yes, no, maybe card.
Oh my god.
Sends it to Dan Brown. It's like, can I fuck your book? Yes, no, maybe, let me know. Your people can talk to my people, just let me know.
Yep. There's a part at the end of this where apparently Beck orgasms, but it's not just an orgasm.
No.
It's Beck explodes and her orgasm is an exorcism and it's an exclamation point and she's speaking in tongues. It's like
a fucking
okay.
snake charmer. A riddlesmith.
You know, as you do when you're locked in a cage and you're having sex after not having a shower in 3 days and you're going to the bathroom in a Home Depot bucket.
As you do.
As you do. And at this point, apparently, like, the cage door is open, and if Beck wanted to, she could, as he says, risk it all to run naked into the shop and scream for help. But instead, apparently, Beck licks her lips and looks up at Joe and purrs. Joe, wow. And that's where the chapter ends. And that's where we're stopping for this week.
I'm so tired.
Same.
This sucks.
I know, but good news is next week we only have 20 pages left to read.
Oh.
And then we're done.
Okay. Promise?
For real, though, this time.
Because you keep saying.
I know,
I've
but I
been
mean
burned
it
before.
this time. Honestly, same, but...
Okay.
For
I'm
real,
trusting
though, this
you.
time. Well, don't do that, but the facts say... The facts say that, so...
Yeah. Great.
Okay, we do have some passerons to thank.
Hell yeah.
And this week we have a BuzzFeed article,
Ooh.
which is 36 Twilight jokes that will always be funny, curated by Casey Rackham. Rackham? Probably Rackham.
Sure. Shout out Rachel Gray.
Ooh.
Who's gonna be number 1. Can't remember what I did a week ago, but I can remember that Bella ordered a mushroom ravioli on her first dinner date with Edward in Twilight 2008.
Mood.
Schmood.
Big mood.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Janae Jasper.
Ow.
Who's gonna be number 5. Which is me as fuck. If I die, spread my ashes where they filmed the Twilight baseball scene.
Shout out to Kelly Beck.
Woo!
Who's gonna be number 6. Me when I watch Twilight, and it's the SpongeBob meme, but as Haley Williams in the Decode video.
Oh my god.
It's so haunting.
Alright, shout out to Sophia Salinger.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be number 13. I'm sorry, but people who shit on Twilight's literary merit when New Moon had those 4 blank pages that just read October, November, December, January after Edward left Bella, like, whew, Pulitzer Prize. And that was written on Valentine's Day of this year.
Fuck. Shout out to Erin Salinger.
Woo, woo, woo.
Who's gonna be number 21. I am bisexual. That means I'm attracted to Jasper from Twilight and every woman I've ever met.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to Taylor Brown Town Lautner. Who's gonna be number 17. I want to be so high that I start acting like Kristen Stewart in Twilight.
Nice.
Nice.
Shout out to Katie Weber.
Woo, 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 woo.
It's gonna be number 25. It's okay. Bro. Fuck. I got this. Bro, can we please fuck at the Twilight soundtrack? Please, bro, fuck just once. Come on, bro, please.
Honestly.
Come on, man, fuck. Can we just fuck at the Twilight soundtrack once?
What a mood.
What a big schmood.
Okay, so today's fanfiction is not
Brought
only
to you by
brought to you by, but written by Kelly Beck.
God damn, what a legend.
This brings me such joy. So this was actually sent to us a couple weeks ago, but timing is weird.
Listen.
So this was sent to us with a note that said, I wrote this Twilight U crossover fanfiction while watching Game 3 of the World Series, which I love a multitasking queen.
Right, yeah.
It's inspired by your podcast. Enjoy. Kelly Beck.
Yes.
So, it's a little bit longer than normal, but
Strap in.
So buckle up, strap in, but I'm going to read it for you here today. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Edward Cullen walked briskly down the cold, dark streets of New York City. It had been several decades since his last visit to the city, and he enjoyed the hum of other people's thoughts as he made his way to Renesmee's apartment that evening. She had wanted to be left alone after her abrupt departure from Forks. Initially, they'd planned to respect her wishes, but after Alice's vision, Edward couldn't wait idly. Alice's timeline wasn't clear, and not knowing whether he had days or weeks, Edward decided to act earlier rather than later. He hadn't told Bella his plan, but she wasn't really in a position to ask. Ever since the fall of the Volturi, Bella often traveled with Carlisle to shield for the Cullen clan against the most dangerous vampires in the world. She enjoyed being the protection detail rather than needing one. Carlisle, Rosalie, Emmett, and Jasper were currently traveling in northern Syria, along with several other vampire clans, bringing warring bands of Kurdish and Turkish vampires to heal before humans could recognize their influence on the current conflicts garnering international attention. Damn, Kelly. Normally, Alice, Esme, and Edward would be with them, but after Jacob and Renesmee's fight, they decided some of them should stay in Forks in case Renesmee came home. By the time Alice had her vision, there wasn't time to come to a consensus. Edward knew his daughter's frustrations were valid, but he didn't appreciate the danger she placed herself in by running off to New York. She'd done it to keep Jacob from following her. Large wolves roaming in such a big city could hardly go unnoticed. He'd wished that she would have at least talked to himself or Bella first. About a block from Renesmee's apartment, Edward slowed his pace. He had started to filter the thoughts he was hearing to focus on his target. He thought he'd narrowed down the suspect when Renesmee and a man rounded the corner right in front of him. "Daddy?" Renesmee called out. Did he just call that kid Daddy? Edward heard Renesmee's companion think internally. It was awkward, asserting paternal authority when your grown daughter looked a few years older than yourself, but situations like this popped up before. "That's right, it's Cousin Eddie," Edward replied with phoning charisma. "Uncle Charlie sent me to check in on you when he heard I was about to start an internship in the city." "Great," Renesmee replied, clearly irritated. "So, who's your friend?" Edward said, keeping up the tone of a bright and bubbly younger cousin. "My name's Joe," the man replied. "Joe Goldberg. I'm Renesmee's new neighbor." Edward recognized him from Alice's vision. He extended his gloved hand towards Joe. "Pleased to meet you, Joe," Edward said audibly. "I'm looking forward to killing you," Edward thought to himself, smiling. And scene.
Damn.
I'm freaking out. It's
Kelly.
so good.
It's the best
Kelly
of
Beck.
both worlds.
The ultimate crossover.
Fuck.
Kelly Beck, the
Cinematic
true
universe.
author. Oh my God. An auteur.
Yes. Wow.
Oh my God. I'm freaking out.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, well, as we say in Seattle,
Get bit.
and get whipped.
Ooh.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, who you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.